Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Something custom chemicals about the concept fairly known. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey, I'm so happy to hear that music. It's been far too long. We are Wanna Bet. We're back from a little July 4th hiatus. We hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. And we hope you're ready to make some money because we are here, if for nothing else, than to try to make you money and to whittle down all the handicapping we do to our very favorite plays in real time at this very moment for games going on tonight or games in the future or futures bets or exotics, anywhere where we see market inefficiencies where we think you can get value on right now that you want to bet on right now. We're going to tell you what we found, and we hope that by telling us, we all make money together. That is the goal of this game show. We have our buddy Eric Casilius at Fantasy EK with us, as he has been on every Monday. We enjoy having him on. If you're new to the show, first, second, third down, our three favorite plays of the day in that order. Again, not necessarily for things happening tonight, but there are three favorite most recent plays we've made. Fourth and long, we're going to be breaking down the NFC South. We'll each have four or so favorite futures bets we've placed in that division. And then in overtime, we got a new game. Sell me something. I am going to try to sell these two on a unique way to fade the Dallas Cowboys. Beltway Ben, before we dive in with our first bet of the day, though we have not had a show since last Thursday, can you update the people on how we did on our last show and for the year? So there you have it. WNBA, Beltway Ben went heavy in it, got squeezed a little bit. That happens. But Beltway Ben has been making you money in the WNBA. I had a rough week in the CFL, had a field goal go against me with 0.1 seconds left on the clock or 0.10 seconds left on the clock. That's a new one for me. Oh, Canada is whoa, Canada. We crushed the Gold Cup. I hope you guys tailed me on the Gold Cup. We hit plus money after plus money after plus money. On our Super Discord, we had Mexico plus 160. We had Mexico over 1.5 goals plus 160. I also told you sprinkle on Mexico 2-0 or Mexico 2-1. That came up 2-1. And we're playing a game, man versus the machine. Our buddies over at Pine Sports AI, they have an AI bot that is tooled up just for gambling called Jackson. Ben and I found a bet that we each differed with the machine on. I lost a 6-5 Marlins game where they left a bunch of guys on base. And Beltway Ben crushed Charlie Morton. He had 4.5 strikeouts like 2 innings into that game. So well done, Beltway Ben. All right, EK, welcome back. Tell the people a little bit about our Super Discord and give us our first bet of the day.
Super Discord is simple. Why get just one person's picks or not know where to go or have to go to 18 different sites? We have it all in one place. All three of us are in one spot, all of our picks. And you mentioned it. You crushed the Gold Cup. I just tailed and won. And in baseball, if you go to the Super Discord, I'm 13-5 this week against the spread with a bunch of plus money plays. So we are killing it for people. If you go to any of our bios on anywhere you are, you just click the link under our bios. It'll take you right there, and you can join the community. I'm at Fantasy EK. Mine's really easy. Just click the link below, and you're all set.
All right, EK. First down, kick off our week. Fine, sir.
All right, this is not an easy day. I'll be very honest with you. I didn't see anything that I was really jumping up and down about. But I'm going to start with the Red Sox. I'm going to take them on the money line. It's minus 105 on FanDuel, so I'll lay the 1.5 against Colorado. Austin Gomer just isn't very good. 5 innings max guy, and the Red Sox pound lefties. The Red Sox are hot too, 5-1 in their last 6. They're on a winning streak. I don't love taking the home team in a run line game because I only get 8 at-bats. You get 9 as the visitors. But I do think they will pound the Rockies tonight. Colorado's got to be like, what are we doing here right now? I know they're playing a little better, but they're still terrible. Give me the Red Sox.
Red Sox got the bats going against a bad Nats pitching staff. I bet they do the same against a bad Rockies pitching staff. Beltway Ben, where are you on first down, my friend?
Yeah, the other day we went with the 2-unit play on Alyssa Thomas, and we ended up losing. It was tight. We lost by about 3, but came down to the end, and she just wasn't didn't play very well. She wasn't looking to score as much, and I know she dishes out a lot of assists, but I do like her over 34.5 PRAs tonight at minus 125. Kalia Copper is out, who had 25 plus points last game. Sabali is out, who is very, very strong for them on the glass and as a scorer. She's under this in their most recent matchup. Like I said, this is a rematch, but the first time they played, she was right over this and was just coming back from injury. So I like her to go over 34.5 points, rebounds, assists, because when you look at the starters that are out, she is going to have to do it all. And I understand the Wings are playing a little bit of, drop coverage on her. She can't shoot the ball real well, but I do think we see this all-star. I mean, she was an MVP once. She's going to be at her best tonight in this matchup. So I like her over the 34.5 PRAs.
Love it. I am going to the MLB on first down. The league as a whole right now is in a pretty significant under phase, and even the first half in MLB skews a little bit to the under just at the macro level. These are two teams that cannot hit the ball at all. And you could tell me, well, I don't know about these two starting pitchers. Well, the kid up there for the Royals, I'm not going to tell you it's a big sample size. I'm not going to tell you that he's got the greatest upside in the world, but he's held his own so far this year. And I am going to tell you that Pittsburgh is 26-15-2 to the under on the road. That's fifth most under on the road in the MLB. I am going to tell you that since June the 1st on the road, the Pirates are second to last in home runs. They have a 192 batting average, 34 runs scored on the road since June 1st. That's second lowest in MLB. They're slugging 283 on the road since June the 1st with a 534 OPS. How about Kansas City at home against left-handed pitching? Because it's Heaney who's been pretty good. In fact, good enough that he'll probably get traded for something for the Pirates. Well, Kansas City at home versus left-handed pitching since June the 1st. 209, 266, 271 slash line, folks. That's a 538 OPS. Kansas City's 28-16 to the under at home. That is the fourth most unders in MLB, a fourth highest under percentage. Kansas City for the year is tied for last in runs scored at home off of left-handed pitching. I went first five. If you want to go whole game, you can. What scares me here is the Pirates bullpen giving it away. So I'm just going to look at two offenses that haven't been going well in the first 5 or 6 innings, and I'm going to lean to the under in the first 5 here, but I don't mind that 8-ish for the game as well. Second down, Ben.
Second down, I'm going to stick with the MLB there, and I'm going to go with J-Ram over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 135. Last night, I'm refreshing, trying to get the odds, and I got it at minus 115. They immediately take it off the board. I got it there. Then they put it back on, and it's minus 135, minus 145. So with these hits, runs, RBIs props, if you're refreshing late at night, if you catch it at the right time, you can get it as a much better number. But he's got a 344, 393, 479 slash line against left-handed pitching. Colton Gordon's on the mound for the Astros, and after a really good start, hasn't been as good. Righties are hitting 307 against him, and righties have hit 8 of the 9 home runs he's given up. J-Ram's is 1 for 2 with a double against Gordon. And J-Ram is a guy that if he hits a single, we don't need to be too worried because he steals bases, right? 22 stolen bases. You look at J-Ram and might not think it just because he's a little bit smaller and doesn't look like the fastest guy out there. But if he gets on, he's trying to take a base. He's their full offense, him and Stephen Kwan. So I like J-Ram to go over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs today.
Yeah, Hall of Fame path for that guy. Along the lines of what Ben said, this happened to me last night. Ben, you guys know we're texting back and forth. I really want to play some unders in this Texas Angels game. I found Rangers under 4.5 runs. I played it. I had a dog outside who wanted to come in. Went outside, got the dog to come in after he did his business. Went back to put the play in the Super Discord. It was gone. You couldn't find the 4.5 anywhere. 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 5.5. The 4.5 was gone. So again, that's part of I didn't even get that one in the Discord, but we're doing it in real time in the Discord. So by the time we get to this show, some stuff is gone. Second down for me. We're running out of soccer inventory in the summer of soccer. We're going to go to the World Club Cup or World Club Championship. FIFA changes the name all the time. We're going under 2.5 goals in this Fluminense versus Chelsea game. First of all, guys, this game is going to be played at 3:00 in the afternoon in Secaucus, New York on a pavement. That's basically what we're doing. MetLife Stadium on a Tuesday at 3:00. That's probably going to help the Brazilians, who are in form versus a Chelsea team that would normally just be in the early stages of training this time of year. These teams are 5 matches into this tournament. Fatigue setting in. Only one of them is going to win it. We're at the semifinal stage. If you follow soccer, semifinals and finals, rarely do you get a whole lot of aesthetically pleasing soccer. It tends to be more of a rock fight. Chelsea had trouble generating offense against the Brazilian side they already faced in this tournament. Fluminense is going to be very hard to break down. They're going to be content to keep this 0-0 as long as possible and try to score one on the counter to put pressure on Chelsea. They're going to fight and claw to get this 0-0 at the half. And if it does, I'll probably double down on some of this stuff live betting. Like, you look at Fluminense in this tournament, 1.69 expected goals per match. That's for the game total of them in this tournament. They shut it down. Only 7.5 total shots per game on frame in their matches. 37 shots on target for Fluminense through the entire tournament, through 5 games. If you want to, you want to chase some plus money, this thing could be a draw at regulation. I would maybe play money line regulation as well. Look into that. But I think the Brazilian side will be in better form. They'll be stuck in defending. They're going to frustrate Chelsea. And I think this is a 1-0 or 1-1 match at the end of regulation. Second down, EK.
By the way, Fluminense, fun to say and fun to play. So
yes, and hopefully they're a money-making side for us.
There you go.
Brazil!
You know, one of my betting philosophies in baseball is when you win 3 in a row or lose 3 in a row, I hammer you until it goes the other way. So Cleveland has lost 10 in a row. That's 7 wins for me. I just keep playing against them every day. There you go. There you go. There you go. I'll just keep hammering them. And I'm going to keep hammering them. They are a mess right now. Last 4 games, 2 runs, no runs, 1 run, no runs. They're a dumpster fire. So I'm going to go with Houston. I'm going to lay the big juice at 156. But as I always tell you, betting is betting against. A lot of people are just betting on things. I'm looking for things to bet against, people to bet against, teams to bet against. And I'm betting against Cleveland here. They'll turn it around, and they'll beat me one of these nights. But in the meantime, I'm winning 6, 7, 8 bets, and I've already won 7. Let's see if we can go 8 straight fading Cleveland. Shane Bieber is more name than game right now, so give me Houston.
I will see that, and I will raise that right now because it is my turn, right? Third down. I haven't done this from my house in a while. Yeah, I'm up. I know how this game's played. Let's go run line, Houston Astros, EK. Cleveland Guardians are 4-8 on the run line their last 12 games. The Guardians have scored 2 runs or fewer in 9 of their last 10 games. The Astros, how have they been doing against much tougher competition, right? Like going out to LA and facing the Dodgers. Yeah, they're 6-1 on the run line in their last 7. They've won 11 of their last 13. The kid on the mound for them, kind of like the Royals situation, like not a household name, but he's got a 4.04 ERA. He's been a league average pitcher. This is a Guardians lineup that not only do they not have Pop anymore, which was in short supply even when they had Naylor and Jimenez, but they don't get on base much anymore. They're not working walks like they used to. And I'm looking at Tanner Bybee saying, have we seen the best of him already? For the Guardians, 5.09 ERA his last 7 games, 5.4 ERA for the season on the road for Tanner Bybee for that kind of return. An Astros team that lit up that Dodgers pitching staff for the most part, that's in good form, returning home, Guardians feeling sorry for themselves, licking their wounds and hobbling into the All-Star break. I know, as EK said, I'm only going to get 8 cracks at this and not 9, but I think that'll be enough. So that's where we're going. All right, EK, what do you got on third down?
Again, this is not my favorite card, but I did find some value here. I'm violating my own rule where I usually play against the Sunday Night Baseball teams on Monday. They're always out of sync. These are creatures of habit more than anybody else. And when you look at what they do, Sunday night is not a night they're used to playing, especially when they have to travel. They're out of sync, and the numbers bear it out. But I am going to take Houston, who played in Sunday Night Baseball, and I'm going to lay the number, and I'm going to take on Jacob deGrom as they play. When in this particular game, the Angels are dreadful. Same thing. I've been hammering
the Rangers. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm taking the Rangers in this spot. Jacob deGrom is my guy here. I'm looking right now. I'm trying to find the number that I wanted to see. But again, the Angels are dreadful. So I'm going to take Texas to keep hammering the Angels. I played against the Angels all weekend long up in Toronto. Win, win, win. So I'll continue to take Texas in this spot against the bad Angel team. One team, I have a great pitcher. Another team, I have an ice-cold roster. Again, a lot of boxes check here. So give me Texas minus the 143 over the Angels. You can find that on MGM.
Yeah, I would look at the under in that game as well. I would seriously look at the under, and I'll have an under play on the Super Discord. I just need to crunch some more numbers. I'm not sure which way I'm going. Beltway Ben, third down. Bring us home, brother.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the WNBA here, and this is a weird prop. Game prop. And it's tomorrow. The game is at 11:30 a.m. Tuesday. It's the Campers Week in the WNBA, so there's a lot of earlier games. But the Sky versus the Mystics, largest comeback 5+ points. They've already played twice this season, and in both games, both teams had a lead of 5+ points. Actually, both teams were leading by double digits in those games. But if you look at these teams, the Sky have had this cash in 7 of their last 9 games. They're both very young. They get up early and let other teams come back into the game. I think this one will be tight. This is 2 teams that I expect to miss the playoffs, but play a similar brand of basketball, right? Angel Reese is starting to play very, very well for the Sky, and I think that they're going to get up early. I think the Mystics will battle back, and I think, honestly, in the first half, it wouldn't surprise me to see both of these teams up by 5+ points. But like I said, it's cashed in 2 games that they've matched up in already, and the game is tomorrow, Tuesday, at 11:30 a.m.
I love it. Beltway Ben digging deep. All right, that brings us to fourth and long, where we look at long shot bets or bets that won't pay off for a long time, hence the name. And look, we are getting deeper into NFL content. And if you watch us regularly, you know we've been breaking down divisions. And today is the NFC South. I also want to let you guys know next week is going to be football week on this show because there will be no MLB. There won't be a ton of inventory, so we might look at our favorite props on wide receivers one day and do first, second, third down on that. Maybe quarterbacks. We're going to break it up in different ways. I'll still be on the CFL. I'm sure Ben will still have some WNBA plays. It's going to be a lot of football content next week, though, so you're going to want to stay with us, even though you might be thinking there's not a whole lot of stuff to bet on a day-to-day basis. So today, again, the NFC South. Let's start with EK. What are your favorite props to play in that division, brother?
I'm going to give you one on every team, and let's roll through these. Atlanta, I'm going to go Bijan Robinson under receptions. If you look in some states, it's not widely out yet, but we're looking at like 48.5. I think that number goes up, but I would hammer it at 48.5. New quarterbacks mean new preferences in what they like. He caught 61 passes last year. So everyone's like, oh, 61. All right, so he'll be in the 50s this year. Yeah, but only 7 were in the 3+ games he played with Michael Penix. All right, I don't care what he did with Kirk Cousins. I care what he did with Penix. All right, it's not there when Penix is the quarterback. That's not what he likes to do. So go under. You know these huge running backs, popular guys, the numbers spiral up as we get closer to kickoff. So if you want to wait, you know, but once you get to 50, I would throw everything I could on this under. Number 2, Carolina. How about Chuba Hubbard over 5.5 rushing touchdowns? Carolina runs it inside the 5. Chuba had 22 carries inside the 5 last year. I'm a little worried about Rico Dowdle, who's 5 pounds heavier and 2 pounds shorter, but Chuba has a really good percentage getting that 1 yard, and they say he's going to be the goal line back. This regime wants to run it inside the 5, so let's go with Chuba. Saints, how about under 5.5 wins? I think they're terrible. Somebody seeing something I'm not? I think they're terrible. I think they are my pick to end up on the clock. They're a touchdown underdog at home week 1 to Arizona. Not going to get easier than that. They are favored in 2 games this year. 2. And you have to win 6 to beat me. I'll give you the 2 and say that you won't get to 6. And then lastly, I'll go Baker Mayfield under 30.5 touchdown passes. Another new offensive coordinator. A 35-year-old guy who doesn't call plays. Last year they flashed. But 2 years ago, Baker played well. And they had 21 fewer touchdowns and he threw for 28. In a year he played well. He's got to get to 31. No chance for me. Plus, if there's any injury there, I win, right? He's played every game last year, and people are just assuming that's going to be the case, and that's never the case. So whenever I have a good under, you know I love to slide in. Those are my selections, NFC South.
This is juicy because I'm going to see one of yours and raise it, and then we're also going to go head-to-head on one of those. One more thing, though, on the Hubbard Bryce Young thing. You might look at Bryce Young and say he's athletic, he's spry. They don't really want him running, especially now that he's good, the way he's built. They really don't want him running. So I don't see him vulturing a whole lot from the 10 on in. He might get a scamper from the 15 on out where he beats a few guys, but you ain't going to see a whole lot of tush push with Bryce Young. I'm just going to put it to you that way. So I'm with you, EK. All right, Beltway Ben, NFC South.
Yeah, here we'll start with the Falcons, and I'm going to go with Bijan Robinson, 1,250 plus rushing yards this season. And when you look at what Bijan did last year, 1,456, he was the man. And it took some time for them to, actually start giving him the carries that I felt like he deserved, right? Zach Robinson early in the year, there were games where he'd get 8 to 9 carries, and it was just head scratching. Nobody understood it. But in the second half, he started getting the ball a ton, and that's when he started making a ton of big plays. Again, for a guy that just ran for 1,450 yards, to get him at 1,250 a plus money, can't pass on that. I'm going to go with the Bucs next. Bucky Irving, 1,000 plus rushing yards at minus 110. I get that they have the committee and everything like that, but in just 207 carries last year, he rushed for 1,122 yards. Like, he's going to get more carries than that, in my opinion. It was pretty clear they didn't like Rachaad White with the fumbles. And I understand Rachaad White's going to get some goal line carries. He's a little bit of a bigger back. But Bucky Irving runs hard. He breaks a lot of tackles. And also, the big play always comes with him. So I like Bucky Irving over 1,000 rushing yards. Next play, this one is just for the value. It's Chris Olave at plus 150 to get 1,000 receiving yards. Yeah. EK just broke down the Saints. I don't see how they're not playing from behind in every game this season.
Garbage time.
That is a bettor's best friend, but for most better. But 1,000 yards in his rookie season, 1,123 in his second year, and then last year he deals with injuries all season, deals with the concussions, and drops down to 400. This is primarily, can Chris Olave stay healthy or not? He played all but one game in both of his first 2 years. We just need him to stay healthy. 1,000 plus yards at plus 150. Too good for me to pass on. And then my last play, it's going to be Bryce Young over his touchdown passes, 17.5, and it's at minus 105. Bryce Young, if you look at what he did in the second year, they head to Germany and play the Giants as a big underdog and win that game. 12 touchdowns to 3 interceptions from that game on. He looked very good. We know Canales likes to throw the football, but he finished the year 2 touchdown passes against Arizona, 2 touchdown passes in Tampa Bay, and then 2 touchdowns. Over 17.5 touchdown passes at minus 105.
Well, yeah, I'm with you on Carolina. And by the way, Ben, I know I gave these to you in a little different order, but let's go right to the Panthers for me. I'm going to take the Panthers over 7.5 wins for plus money. I am buying that Bryce Young has turned the corner. I was the biggest skeptic in the world about their head coach, Canales. I'm also one who's willing to admit when I'm wrong, unlike Mike Elias. And I got that one wrong. Look, how about the Carolina Panthers schedule? How many playoff teams do they face? They face Buffalo, they face Green Bay, they face the Rams, and then they have to face Tampa twice. That's it. How about starting off at Jacksonville, win, at Arizona? That's a coin flip for me. I'll probably take them on the money line. Then they get Atlanta at home, a dome team in their place under early in Penix. At New England, I think New England's being highly overvalued. Miami comes to them. Dallas comes to them at New York Jets. I don't think it's out of the question that they have more wins than losses through that point in the season, in which case we're cashing this bet unless the quarterback gets hurt. The defense made strides. The offense is borderline average, I think. And in that crappy division with that schedule, I think they can get to 8 wins. How about the creme de la creme in that division? Tampa. Beltway Ben, I'm going to ask you this because EK is on the other side of it. Beltway Ben, do you know who has the most passing touchdowns in the NFL the last 2 years?
Is it Baker Mayfield?
My God, you're clairvoyant. Baker Mayfield with 69. Next up is Jared Goff with 67. Look, you're going to give me $10 and tell me I can make 100. I'm going to go there. The last 2 years, there haven't been a whole lot of games where Mike Evans and Godwin have been healthy at the same time. Yet Baker Mayfield is still pushing 70 passing touchdowns in that span. Some of these other quarterbacks who run more, and he doesn't run as much as he used to, might get hurt. I just think for that kind of value, I'm going there. They play a lot of shootout games, and he gets a lot of command over that offense, and I think he likes throwing touchdown passes. How how about exact order in this division, the way I played it, because I'm bullish on Carolina. Bucks, Panthers, Falcons, Saints, plus 650. Look into that. And as for the Saints, I'm with EK. I'm only willing to go further. I've played the Saints and the Browns to finish with the fewer wins. If the field beat me, the field beat me. But I think between those two, for the kind of plus money you're getting, I'm locking it down. And this market hasn't formed yet. But when it does, play the Browns and the Saints to be the last team to win a game in this league. I think they'll cash for you. Okay, overtime. We're always trying new segments here. This one is called Sell Me Something. And I've been looking at some of these props that I think it's DraftKings that has. Look at a team's first 5 games, and you can play it a lot of different ways. Guys, I put a few shekels yesterday on the Dallas Cowboys to start 0-5 at plus 1,000. Now, who do they face? Who do the Cowboys face? They open up at the Eagles. Good luck. They get the Giants at home week 2. I think the Giants front 4 is going to be absolutely menacing. This is going to be very early in Schottenheimer's regime. Dallas, to me, doesn't have a head coach. Without a head coach, the coordinators will suffer. I don't really buy them offensively or defensively. Are they going to get the Micah Parsons thing resolved or not? I think the Giants can beat the Cowboys. Yeah, I said it. I do. I think they can play keep away offensively, and I think they can turn them over. At Chicago, I'll say Ben Johnson can win a shootout there. Green Bay, did you see that matchup in the playoffs? Not a good one for the Cowboys. And then at the Jets, I think the Jets under Aaron Glenn will have a top 8-ish defense. And I think they will have a game plan that can frustrate the Dallas Cowboys. And look, that Dallas defense, when they're not able to play with a big lead and pin their ears back and just go hunt the football all the time and hunt the quarterback, have a lot of issues. So I put a few buckets on that. Will either of you guys, will you Adam Gase that? Will you Dan Campbell that? Will you ride the lightning? Will you fade that? Where are you on this proposition, EK?
Here's what I want to do with that. I'm going to come with you, but I'm going to modify it a little. I'm looking week 1, and Dallas is plus 259 on the money line. So I'm going to wait till after week 1, and if they lose, then I'd probably jump in on that. And if I had to, I would just play them to lose on the money line, lose on the money line, lose on the money line, and roll it over.
Let it roll.
But I'm with you in terms of your logic holds for me. I don't know if the numbers say that we should go individually 5 times or bundle it right now, but you make a compelling case that this club could start badly. And you know the pressure there. They lose week 1 to the Eagles. They lose week 2 to the Giants. Half their fan base is going to be looking for a new coach already. I mean, imagine talk radio in Dallas. They lose week 2. It'll be crazy.
They are front runners, EK.
Maybe
they're front runners. When everything's going good and they're at home and they pile up the points, that's when they fool people. When the adversity strikes, and if adversity strikes early with a guy who's not really an NFL head coach and hasn't even gotten the buy-in from the players yet, right, it could crater early.
I agree. I'm sold.
By the way, Ben.
Adam Gase. I mean, Giants, Bears, Packers, Jets, they'll be favored in 3 of those 4 games. I do think they're going to lose to the Eagles, but I think you can get plus money in 3 of those 4 games. I just don't see them losing to the Giants, Bears, and the Jets. I think they win at least one of those games. But again, at plus 1,000, it is intriguing, but I would like it to be a little bit more. But I do think they'll be favorites in 3 of their first 5 games.
Well, it's an interesting topic to kick around either way. I put like $20 on it. I thought, what the heck? I think Schottenheimer is going to be in a lot of trouble sooner than most would think. That's our show. Tomorrow, we will have my buddy Joe Ostrowski from the BetMGM network on with me. Joe and I host a show, BetMGM Game Day Morning, every Sunday from 8 to 11 Eastern during the NFL season. Joe's based in Chicago. We will drill down on the NFC North. We will drill down on how to bet the Cubbies in the second half. We will have our 3 favorite plays of the day, and we will see you about 12:15-ish Eastern tomorrow on WannaBet.